That's a starting message. Woke up and just immediately, not hi, not how are you, not the weather's been good, just like...
Huh? Kaboom.
Muujin came out with another video. If you guys don't know Muujin, he covers a lot of controversial topics with VTubers, okay? And Muujin is very highly researched. So I prefer to watch him talk about things compared to other people. We're gonna talk about how an unhinged VTuber's termination exposed a predator. Nijisanji's horrendous toxic workplace. So let's see where this goes.
Entertainment is undeniably one of the biggest industries on the planet. It is present in every region of the world, and everyone is very familiar with it at this point. But even though it's present in so many different regions and cultures, they'll have many points in common among one another. One of those points, of course, is unfortunately the aspect of controversy. More specifically, bad people who will gain power and take advantage of others. This is something that has happened and continues to happen as we speak. And no matter how many people get exposed, we keep finding more. And seeing that VTubing is a part of the entertainment industry, they also unfortunately share that same point in common. More specifically, in one of the two biggest VTubing corporations on the planet, Nijisanji.
I think the way he introduced this is very good because he says, like, because of the fact that everywhere else is, like, has this pattern. This happens to people in positions of power who abuse it, right? Because this happens everywhere else, it's going to happen to VTubers as well. Because we are also entertainers.
And seriously, this company keeps raising the bar as to how to not do things the right way, to the point where they have an entire playlist on my channel just dedicated to how bad of a company they are. Starting in February 2024, when one of their talents almost took their own life because of their—
Yeah, the first time I really heard about Niji as somebody who doesn't really care to keep up with, like, you know, drama within, like, VTubing corpo, the first time I remember hearing about it was about that. It was about Celine. And I was like, oh my, like, how does this happen?
Their toxic work culture, with them then deciding to terminate her and turn her own coworkers against her in one of the worst streams imaginable. And then slowly but surely, over the next months after that major incident, we started to truly understand the depth of the toxicity present internally at Nijisanji. With the last video being almost 6 months ago, talking about how one of their biggest male VTubers is a serial harasser, targeting women internally, especially the ones that joined the company recently, and trying his best to take advantage of them. How could this get any worse, you might ask? Well, we just got new information on that VTuber specifically. The victim in question gave us more information about the things that he did to her, and even included an audio clip of her confronting him in a voice call and him replying to her. But what prompted this? This victim already gave us information 6 months ago. Why come out now out of all times and give us more information? It's actually because someone leaked a voice call she was in from 6 months ago, back in December 2024, in which she insulted over 1 billion people due to their race, called for the death of all men on the planet, and admitted—
Yeah, we saw that one. That was wild. That was crazy. Like, actually, insanity.
That she was a transphobe. Yes, it's because of this voice call leaking that the victim decided to turn their apology into mostly talking about Aster. Okay, I'm not even kidding. I wish I was. This is like 2 videos in one, and honestly, it is such a train wreck that we have to talk about it. So let's
the dumpster fire. Holy.
do this. Alright, so this whole controversy involving Aster Arcadia and his behavior internally actually started with a completely separate incident. It involved none other than Luca Kaneshiro, one of the biggest male VTubers at Nijisanji. His ex-mod, Raziel Warmonic, tweeted this out on March 29th, 2024, saying, "My experience with Java / Luca Kaneshiro," linking a Google Doc that is 58 pages long.
Oh my god, why 58 pages, brother? Oh my god, these Google Docies gotta get shorter. This is why I can't do drama. Like, I need like a bachelor's, I need a master's degree in being able to read all of this crap. What?
This was a very extensive document showing receipts, DMs, and a lot of different proof in regards to how Luca is behind closed doors.
This is what we need AI for, chat. Like, why are we using AI for art when we could use it to condense this down? Why is it Google in dark mode? Ugh.
Someone who is manipulative and borderline sociopathic. And as the thumbnail of my video
Google Docs, I mean. Like, why are they never, there's not dark mode yet.
about him suggests, yes, one of the things this document talks about is how he beat his meat in VR chat to Raziel without her consent.
That's wild. That's why you just be slapping the, why do you, what?
It honestly couldn't get more ridiculous, and it's safe to say that it ruined his reputation. Not to mention that
Well,
Nijisanji
yeah, who does that? Who just is like, that's crazy.
just barely went through a PR disaster with selling Tatsuki's termination, so this didn't help at all. But here's the thing, this whole document mostly talked about Luka Kaneshiro except one paragraph on page 55. This section had the title, Aster Arcadia Harassing Other Coworkers, saying,
Bro, how do you go to HR about that? Can you imagine trying to go to HR and be like, you see, everything was going great until I was hanging out in VR chat and I just heard, and I don't know how to get that to stop.
I can confirm that
You go
Luka
to
said
HR
that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything, and he discussed it with both Elira and I. I personally told him to gather as much evidence as possible and bring it to management since it shouldn't be Luka and Elira's job to regulate this issue. To my understanding, nothing was done about it. Raziel then showed a DM that she received from a nijisanji English VTuber saying, to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster. To which Raziel said, another nijisanji liver confirmed by DMs that the Aster allegations after this had been made public. So in a nutshell, even Luka, who was toxic and manipulative in his own way, was getting DMs from multiple nijisanji VTubers, we're talking talents here,
Oh my
telling
God.
him to help them convince management to do something about Aster Arcadia. Like,
Bro, so you gotta like ask the people around you to advocate for this man to stop beating his meat in VR chat with you? Like, that is crazy. I think they said there was other instances besides that, but that is just crazy. I just imagine going into like an actual like blue collar job and having to go to HR for that. Like, you guys know how if you guys like want like a change in the workplace, you have to sign a petition. Imagine the clipboard going around like, we hope that our co-workers do not beat their meat to us without permission. We would like to present this to HR so that it will not happen again. We think this would help our we think this would help our productivity in the workplace if we did not in fact hear the person next to us beating their meat. Thank you.
imagine it getting this bad. Having God knows how many VTubers complain and management still not budging. This was the first time that the mainstream VTubing community was made aware about this, about Aster's behavior internally. And instead of Nijisanji making a statement about this document regarding Luka or Aster, we only heard crickets because Nijisanji was in full radio silence until May. On May 29th,
my God.
2024, 2 months after Raziel had posted her document, she tweeted, I was just served a cease and desist from Anycolor Inc. in paper, Anycolor being the parent company of Nijisanji. I fully intend to comply with it as I have until now and will continue to into the future. That is all I will share on the matter. Thank you. So Nijisanji had sent a team of lawyers after Raziel with a cease and desist letter, and if she didn't comply and take down the Google document, she would face
Because it makes them look bad. It makes them less profitable in the meantime, right? Why did you send these same people after the people that were the problem?
the wrath of their lawyers. To many, this was an admission of guilt, them saying, yeah, everything in this document's true, please get the hell out of here. But of course, the information was already out there, and this did nothing more but raise even more awareness about the document, staining their reputation further. But in that cease and desist that Raziel had received, there was this section that said that Anycolor takes its responsibility towards employees and those it manages and treats any allegations of misconduct seriously. It reacts appropriately to any allegations brought to its attention, including via personal consultations with its human resources and or legal representatives, and since April 12th, 2024, so 2 weeks after Raziel's document came out, through its internal whistleblowing policy for livers. Whoa, was Nijisanji actually taking this seriously? Were they taking steps to fix their internal toxic culture now that it's been
That would be great if that were the case.
brought up publicly? Just keep this paragraph in mind for later, okay?
Yeah, what the heck? So like, did they decide to because they felt forced to because there was public incident? Or I feel like that's wishful thinking.
I'm sure you can guess where this is going. But regardless, even after this document had come out, Astor Arcadia would continue to stream regularly. This hadn't made enough of a dent in Nijisanji's management and
Bro, is it because he was like really profitable? Like, damn, this was all a year ago. This is not even the main subject of the video. See, this is crazy. This is actually crazy.
Hadn't really affected Astor Arcadia's reputation as much as the victims were hoping it would. And to be fair, it couldn't, because unlike Luca, there was no proof regarding Astor until...
Oh, right, because they would have had to like record him. Like, how do you... Oh, God. You gotta... Listen, you gotta have evidence. You gotta know. You gotta have a recording of him beating his meat and saying, "Here I am beating my meat." Oh my God, the collecting of evidence for this would be, woo, that's something.
September 2024. On September 19th, 2024, a VTuber at Nijisanji would vent to someone that she thought was a friend about her experiences with Astor Arcadia, revealing many things to us about how he was flirty when she told him to stop, wanting to fly her out to Japan so that they can stay in the same hotel room, and doing that to her friend who was not even a VTuber and was clearly a Nijisanji fan, very openly taking advantage of that. Now, around November, that person who she thought was a friend would reach out to the YouTuber False ID, showing him those messages. This was done without this VTuber's permission. This completely endangered her position at Nijisanji, because she knew that even if she censored her name and remained anonymous, Nijisanji would eventually find out exactly who she was. But seeing that her friend had already broken her trust and reached out to False ID, she thought, you know what, might as well see this through to the end. So
YOLO. Time to throw it all into the dumpster because it's gonna be on fire anyway.
She also reached out saying, hey, thanks for accepting my request. Blank, which was her friend, told me he sent you some things and I was wondering if you'd be able to have a call with me, to which False ID said, sure, not a problem. What time works for you? That VTuber would then give even more details as to how she was badly treated by Astor Arcadia and how much of a sex pest he truly was internally in the company.
I was gonna say, there's only a matter of time before this stuff comes out if this guy just keeps doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like there's a new person and he's bothering every day. There's only a matter of time before somebody is like, yeah, I'm not keeping my mouth shut about it.
All of this culminated into the bombshell drop of a video on December 6, 2024. In which
the sad thing is when this happens, you're like, how long has this been going on for how many people? You know, did this weirdo affect before that, like, it became public? Because it's got to be more than just one or two people.
False ID, for one of the first times, would reveal to the world the true depth of Astor Arcadia's very problematic behavior and how Nijisanji management has been repeatedly covering for him. As this was going on, many people made correlations between his current behavior and his past behavior before even joining Nijisanji. With many
Bro, I keep seeing memes about this, okay? And I didn't know if they were true, but it's always like, it'll be like a mental assignment. And then it'll have like a picture of Niji. It'll be like, come here, little VTuber. Like they're going shopping at the mental assignment in order to find new talents. And that would not get out of my head. I was like, I wonder why they say that. Now I see why. I see it.
Concluding that he used to go by the name Xigneon, a VR chat content creator that also exhibited a
That's a starting message. Woke up and just immediately, not hi, not how are you, not the weather's been good, just like
a lot of this very problematic behavior with his peers. This video dropped a nuclear bomb in the VTubing community, with the many content creators also picking up the story.
Bro, it reminds me of the meme that I always go back to, chat. Becky, do you want some? I got your blue.
Including myself, and it eventually reached further beyond the VTuber demographic, even reaching the mainstream. This absolutely forced Nijisanji to put out some sort of a statement, and they couldn't stay silent on it like they were about the Luca Kaneshiro document. So 3 days after False ID's video came out, they tweeted out,
"You're like, damn it, we have to say something now.
Thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. Regarding the recent controversy, Any Color has determined the following course of action. We have initiated an independent independent third-party investigation into these issues and will share the outcome with our livers and our community. This investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties, and will include a thorough review of company policies and their implementation. Based on the outcome of this investigation, appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken, and updated policies will be shared with our livers and our community. Any color is committed to a safe and community-focused environment free from any type of inappropriate behavior.
No, I don't think so. I think you should be more honest and be like YouTube, where they're like, it's not our problem. We gave you guys the emails. We gave you guys, emails. You guys work it out. We want our hands clean. We do not actually want to be responsible for anything.
So of course, some people thought that, yeah, this was a step in the right direction to conduct an investigation. But others quickly pointed out, wait, what is this sentence over here? The investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties. Why is this even a concern? Like, this shouldn't even be part of the investigation. Like,
oh yeah, it is, because they're sorry that they got caught. That's definitely what it is. So we're sorry that this bad thing came out, and we are avidly looking into who leaked the info, because that is where the problem is. Because if nobody found out, we wouldn't have to f around with shit we don't want to be involved in.
Like, you need to set your priorities straight here.
Oh, they have them. They have them.
So many were predicting that this leaker was going to suffer the wrath of Nijisanji, and Aster was going to continue doing what he always did. But it actually wasn't fully the case. The next day, Aster was supposed to go live with a cooking stream and a huge announcement. He then delayed it by a week and said this in his chat: "I will have to postpone the cooking stream, sorry. Missing some stuff and setup is complicated. Thank you for your understanding." He then delayed it again and again and again and again. And today we're at 7 different delays, with the most recent one being July 24th, 2025, the 3rd anniversary of his debut. I think it's very safe to say that this stream is most likely not happening, but regardless, he hasn't streamed a
not cooking, instead getting cooked
single time since False ID's video came out. And speaking of that video, the victim in question, the nijisanji Vtuber, had their name clearly censored. This was in an effort to protect their identity so that nijisanji doesn't punish them. Many other YouTubers did their best to censor the name as well, but unfortunately, in the end, it didn't matter one bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you internally they would incentivize people saying who it could be. You know what I mean? I have a feeling that they would provide. I don't know if they would, right? But I could see how they would even provide incentive for somebody to fess up who might know who it is on the inside.
That friend who had initially reached out to False ID on that VTuber's behalf without asking her permission leaked over 100 pages of chat logs involving this VTuber on 4chan. Not even joking.
Oh my god, no! Bro, so it's the friend that got them in trouble? Oh, man.
Look at this. Look at all these messages, bro. It's insane.
Thanks, bestie.
The secret was out. The VTuber in question was none other than Twisty Amanozako, someone who had only a few months prior joined Nijisanji and was now going to be in very big trouble. In these chat logs, she also revealed some other very worrying things. Like how, for example, Nijisanji had encouraged her to go all out on her debut, asking for the best quality model, the best assets, the best everything, and her later finding out that this would be subtracted from her pay. She was essentially $10,000 in debt to Nijisanji. Every month, the majority of her paycheck would go towards paying that debt, so she was making no money whatsoever. Yet again, showing us just how much of an amazing company Nijisanji is. But who is Twisty Amanozako really? Well, we've already established that she's an English Nijisanji VTuber. Her debut was under the Denouth wave, I think that's how you spell it, alongside 2 other members. Their debut was officially on May 25th, 2024. So think about this. She wasn't even there for 6 months before Aster decided to make a move on her. It was almost instantaneous. As soon as she had joined—
holy crap, dude! She just got there and he's like, hey, baby, you want some— Jesus Christ, I just got here. I just walked through the front door. God damn!
The Predator made his move. And speaking of Aster, this is definitely a household name for Nijisanji. He's by no means the biggest Nijisanji VTuber. He's not even comparable to someone like Luca Kaneshiro, but he was very popular throughout his debut before Nijisanji's reputation took a dump, and still—
I knew it. I was gonna say, he's gotta have some type of positive PR or like monetization They gotta be monetizing from this man in some type of way, whether it's literal money or it's like he's making good PR for them. There has to be a benefit to not having this come to light. That is enough that they are willing to bury it miles deep. At least in my opinion. I could be wrong, because I've heard this is not their first offense, but you know, that would be my way of thinking.
Still is a very recognizable name today. In comparison, Twisty was dealt a very bad hand. Her debut was barely a couple months after the first initial sell-in catastrophe, so she joined the company at its lowest point. She had a fan base, but it wasn't much in comparison to Luca, and shortly after False ID's video about Astro Arcadia came out, she all of a sudden went radio silent. She stopped streaming on her channel. She stopped showing up on collabs. That's when she would all of a sudden announce an indefinite hiatus. Something
Man, so this is like what, 6 months after she started?
Usually reserved for very big life events that are uncontrollable. People were hoping for the best, but they were expecting the worst. Because based on past events with this company, I mean...
Yeah, because now they've got a bad track record, so it's like, I want to say it's just something that was unavoidable, but this company has a track record now of things happening, you know, that were completely avoidable, and that they had their own hand and over.
And why wouldn't they? We wouldn't hear from her or ask her for almost a year until June 2025, when she would go live playing League of Legends on her PL account.
That's bold, okay? Like, I don't know if this was like her middle finger personally to Niji, but I don't think, and I've heard that there are other VTubers who have done this, who go on their like past like VTuber account, but I've never seen someone do this.
Referring to past life. In the VTubing community, this means the account or persona you used before becoming a corporate VTuber. In this case, Twisty...
I just think this is crazy. And maybe that's just because, like, right, I don't keep up to date on corpo drama and stuff like that, right? But I just think it's wild that she did this. Like, this is bold. I cannot imagine this going well in any capacity.
His PL account is none other than Delulu Delirio, and this was a very big deal because under Nijisanji's contract, you are strictly prohibited from creating any sort of content outside of your Nijisanji persona.
Yeah, and she has to have known this, right? She has to have done this deliberately, I'm guessing.
You can't tweet on your past life account. You cannot stream on your past life account. You can't even play a game with someone else who's streaming unless you're your Nijisanji persona. This is a big breach of contract, and it made people think, wait, was she kicked out? Many were concerned for her until 4 days later, when this video would be published on YouTube, in which you can hear her say the most vile and crazy things imaginable.
I just couldn't believe that this was real. I thought it had to be fake because, or just like people were being overly dramatic. And then I heard what she said. I was like, ooh, okay, it really is all of these things. It really does check every box they said. Like, that's crazy.
A leaked voice call. I downloaded this as soon as it came out because I knew YouTube was going to remove it.
Yeah, yoink, hold on. That's a lot of boxes she's checking, and it's not a... She really did check all the boxes. You better download it.
And hey, they did. So I came prepared. The video starts off with context, saying Twisty is talking to her friend about one of her fans named Epic, who is Indian. I think you can already...
Yep, and also a fan is blasting so loud in the background. It's like... the whole time, by the way. Not only is the video actually insane, but the desk fan they have right next to whatever they're recording with the entire time is like... It's something.
Already tell where this is going, right? Starting off strong. There are subtitles in this video, and whenever they're green, it means that Twisty is talking. It's 7 minutes, 45 seconds long, and I'm going to show you the 3 main, most important clips. You'll understand what I mean. Starting with the first one, watch.
Twitter's useless, but just to like...
me talking to Epic for like an entire 2 hours, but it's not that bad, I guess.
Well, talking to an Indian sounds pretty terrible.
Okay.
What? How do you just say that with your full chest?
God, dude.
Yeah. Don't be a red light, okay.
Well, I hate Epic and I hate his kind, so...
God, I hate his kind. Like, what in the... I just can't believe you talk like that. You talk like someone's deceased, great, like, crotchety, wrinkly grandfather that is unironically racist. It's crazy.
Ever since, I feel like did you say something to him? Because he stopped sending me stuff.
Oh yeah, and then this part's crazy because the friend is like, hey, did you say something? perhaps racist against this person because I've stopped receiving Rule 34 essentially. Cause I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I haven't received donos from the fan anymore, but no, it's like I haven't received my hookup for special like for Putin's. I was like, this is insane.
Like money or what?
No.
Oh no. It's worse.
Like
A bear?
I wasn't expecting. I don't know why this one really surprised me. I think it's the fact that they just all say it so matter of factly. Like this is a normal day. Like the normal day, the normal casual conversation they're having, just like super racist shit. And then also like, oh, did you say something like that? Because like this fan we have gives me like the prawn hookup. I was like, this is the craziest recording I have heard in some time.
Bear or Epic? I don't remember
No,
saying anything to
Epic.
Epic, but I probably have called it. I've definitely called him a creep, but I don't know how recent.
This is definitely a grippy socks conversation of all time.
then he just stopped and then.
Like, I definitely haven't spoken to him in months.
I think Epic is like attached to my she model.
I think so too.
Cause he
That
was
guy's
like,
awesome.
I think he's a pedophile and
I can't wait to meet him tomorrow.
It just gets me every time.
Should have like a little meet and greet.
he's really likes she.
is Epic living?
Yeah, why?
I swear to God, if he shows up to my meet and greet, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not even kidding.
Wait, why? Why?
Okay, I'm sure he's not gonna go, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how far it is from him, but I feel like solely to piss me off, that is something he would do. People like Epic and Bear should honestly die.
I just randomly, like, I swear, it's like a speed run. Like, I don't know how long this conversation went because I think there's cuts in it, but it's like, dang. Because some people were saying she got set up, which, like, I'm not saying that the other two maybe are more unhinged. This is what I said before, behind closed doors. But the most insane part of this is just like, how does this happen? Is this one conversation just back to back? Like, she's just, like, that's a lot of ammo. Wow.
So I'm sure that's already one hell of a way to start the video. Insulting
wow.
over 1 billion people, talking so badly about someone who's supposedly your fan. Now listen, I get making fun of people who are parasocial, who think that VTuber streamers are actually their VTuber IRL and they're in
Yeah. So that was something I picked up on, is that I did give her, I did give her, not the benefit of the doubt. That's like the wrong word. But like I did say that like she does sound bitter with somebody who probably was parasocial to her, right? Like that is a possibility. And if you're corpo, you know what I mean? Maybe they don't get to tell these people. Maybe they don't get to ban these people, right? I do think that's a problem. It doesn't justify the things she said, but it does feel like that is what she's upset about, is that this person that is very parasocial and creepy is somebody who she cannot have like a line drawn with, right?
love with an anime girl. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's fun to make fun of people like that. But to say that he smells like curry just because he's Indian
Yep,
and going
that's
ahead and
wild.
insulting his entire race is definitely wild. But hey, we're
Yeah, and then right after that, just be like, these men should just die.
only getting started. Here's the next clip.
Did you get her free tickets as a birthday present?
I don't even think I can get
can't
myself
go
tickets.
all the way.
Why not?
Because my company hates me.
All right.
I feel like you overlook that factor a lot.
If I go,
The fan,
Life,
dude.
the new fucking Brave group wave is so bad. I'm actually like shocked. I don't know how the fuck they got in, because genuinely, it's like the worst I've ever seen.
wait, does
Like-
like
I just also don't understand why she randomly brings up this VTuber group. I mean, like I said, I think it's just crazy that out of nowhere she's like, by the way, this other group.
The one girl,
Oh,
she
good.
literally, I need to send you her videos. I'm not even being mean, wife. Like, I'm genuinely like shocked and kind of pissed off. I don't even get a fucking call back. And this girl, who literally the worst I've ever seen. I'm not kidding.
She's super bad, the worst of all kind. I'm not gonna say why, but also I deserved that position, and I'm definitely not jealous or spiteful. which is the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
Like, it's bad.
Wait,
She
what
has,
are you
like,
talking about?
trans rights in her Twitter bio, which I feel like
not-
should be a red flag for any VTuber company if you're talking about that stuff publicly.
What?
Wait,
And she
Wait.
doesn't really stream, but she uploaded some YouTube videos. And
All right, now I've said something about this before, okay? Because I know that people on Twitter are gonna, or not Twitter, YouTube are gonna be like, blah, 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 blah. I've said this before. There is a real problem with activists who don't care about groups of people, all right? That put stuff in their bio for brownie points that don't actually care about them. It exists, okay? And a lot of VTuber groups, whether you like it or don't like it, prefer you never ever like talk about anything with politics as a root, okay? Like whether you think that's a good or bad idea, I think a lot of VTuber groups are like, yeah, you're gonna have to just like not say anything political about anything, okay? These two things exist, but the fact that she is personally bitter about this, and that's her full evidence of like, I deserve to call back, she didn't, she has this in her bio, is crazy. Like, man, she's jealous.
Wait, are
there's
they like
really
are
terrible
they-
covers.
Are they like Niji movie?
No, Brave Girl.
And not even related to my own agency, but this person over here in particular.
Oh,
Like, what?
I don't
Like,
know.
she is for the new wave that's gonna debut soon.
Why not make
Like, it's not about her as a person being bad. It's not about her, like, it's just...
maybe they saw something in them.
I don't know what the fuck they would see in her. Like, they must be blind.
Damn, lady! Damn!
Oh, I don't know. It's objective. Okay.
No, like, objectively, it's really bad, wife. Like, I will send you it and you'll understand.
Objectively, they're blind. And
Like,
Like,
it is just very
they should
bad.
hate her. Yep. Oh, really? She's talking about Brave. Do they have a suspicious reputation? I don't actually know. I'm sorry. I will say I don't know anything about Brave Group.
okay, that's right. It's because the company, like, they really want to make money, right? So they're looking for people that can do the lewd ASMR.
I don't even think this girl can do lewd ASMR, or do you mean, like, the one you're talking about?
Oh no, I'm just talking about the CEO person.
Oh, yeah.
Lewd ASMR. How about she is like cute in her own way?
She's not cute in her own way, wife. I'm not.
I don't know who wife is, but this one, I do feel like it kind of sounds like a bait. Like, you know the person doesn't like them, all right?
About the CEO person.
If
Oh,
this
yeah.
is...
Lewd ASMR.
This is something I would say to somebody because I knew it would piss them off, okay? I'm just saying, okay?
How about she is like
Like, if I knew somebody was being unreasonable, I'd be like, man, I bet you they're cute in their own way. I would love to do that to them. I'm just saying.
She's not cute in her own way, wife. I'm not kidding. Like, I could not get through this. Like, it's really.
Wasn't Blue the one who shared the recording? I actually don't know. Also, I will say I had no idea that Twisty was such a small talent at Niji. I thought she was bigger. She really is was like only there for 6 months.
Really bad. Like, it's shocked. I cannot believe that she was hired. Like, not even like just being mean because I'm transphobic.
No,
Like,
part of it's this.
I'm transphobic openly, but that's not why I'm mean. Like, it's just a statement of
That.
no, it's not. You watched the video.
all right, I gotta disagree. Because you literally, that was the first thing you said, was you said it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And then the Blue text said, why? And you said, trans in bio.
Bro, I swear, man,
So, like, if you didn't want it to be thought of that way, why did you?
I can't believe this person got a call back and I didn't, man. And I swear, it's not because I'm trans. But she does have a trans flag in her bio, and that is a red flag.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, if you didn't want them to think that was the reason why you didn't like them, then why was that your first evidence?
So look, Brave Group is another VTuber agency. She's clearly salty that they didn't call her back, and she had to eventually settle for nijisanji. So it's her taking out her
Oh,
anger
okay.
at one of the people that got accepted for the new wave. The way she said it, though, didn't sit right with a lot of the VTuber community. And we'll
yeah.
get to that later. But there's one more clip here, and this to many was the final nail in the coffin. Watch.
I think it's cute. Well, your legs are really long though.
They're so. It doesn't make sense because the upper like half of my body is so compact, and then you just have the longest legs on the planet. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
He kind of look like me. Cause I have like.
All right, this is about her model, right?
Oh, yeah.
On your
Remember,
shoe
like
model?
the raccoon wanted me to have like.
Oh yeah, he
really
wanted you to have long,
legs.
sexy legs.
Yeah, but I think I like you.
It's literally only because their audience are all Twitter trained,
Whoa! Wait, whose audience is all that? Niji's.
and they don't want to piss them off, which is weird because none of those people watch me anyways. So why should I care about like them being pissed off? Like, it's so stupid.
Why should they care about you being pissed off?
Then why'd they hire me?
Well, Red antagonizes so openly. I don't know who Red is, but Red, like, this entire time is, like, kind of openly taking the piss. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how I would respond, okay, if I was in a room with this person. I probably, too, would, like, not really... I probably, too, would laugh and also kind of be, like, similar, right? Like, I feel bad, because I feel like in real time, if you're in a room with someone like this, it's not easy to, like... It would be super uncomfortable. But at the same time, I don't know how many times these people have talked, you know?
For fun.
Like, maybe they could have looked into the future and like realized that the girl who talked about wanting to be a lolly wanted to be a lolly. I don't know. That just kind of seems weird to me.
I feel like it's pretty obvious that they knew that, based on what they were talking to you about.
Okay, no, it's because they want
they
to
just-
hire you, right? But then they're like, okay.
I know a lot of people are freaking out about this part. I think if you know, like, I don't know how open she was, right? If she was open about her feelings of groups of people and Niji, like, knew that, I would think it would be a bad prospect to hire this person. Maybe they didn't, okay? But, like, and also if you knew that the person wanted this type of model and this is what they liked and you were just like, I'm just gonna not tell her we're not gonna let her do that, I feel like that would spell trouble for you. So, like, why would you do that? Like, it seems weird that they took her on if she was open about a lot of these things.
Just lied to me, pretty much. They literally just lied to me.
No, it's because they wanted to hire you.
Yeah, so they lied.
Like, I feel like there's problems on both sides of the table here, okay? I'm not saying that her behavior is okay, but I do think that it's reasonable to say that Niji's also been not transparent, at least from what I can gather from this video. I haven't been there for all the different controversies, so there are things that I may be overlooking. It feels like if you knew the talent you had previously had a loli model, right? Or previously had open beliefs on politics that don't align with your company, either or, right? It's like, why would you take this person on? And, like, if this is true, which I don't know, if they did know that she had these opinions, or they did know that she, you know, it seems like at least they had to suspect that she liked lolis after having a loli model. Why would you... You see what I'm saying? They had to have some clue what she is. I don't know how many things they didn't know, but they had to have some clue.
It's fine. You can get a lolly model next time.
They're never gonna give me a fucking lolly model. Like, it makes me so mad.
It's so weird, though. The one thing I don't understand is she just open called the one guy a pedo. Like... And then she's like, you know what's sad? I don't know where she's getting her reasoning for a lot of her clips.
And everybody wonders why I don't want to stream. Like, my fans are fucking retarded. And they're upset that I spam collabs all day. Have you ever considered it's because none of you, like, send me any money at all? Like, it's just crazy to me that they don't understand, like, the connection. And I mean, I can't blame them because they're all like underage kids and that's nijisanji's fan base. But why do you want to pander to those people? Give us ugly models that they pay nothing for. Take all of our income. Like,
dang!
Weird.
I'm so sick of pronouns. You're so fucking lame. Why are all men just men?
Whoa, whoa!
I don't know.
Like, they're literally all the same. Bear has a fucking mental breakdown because he thinks that we're actually dating or something.
Oh god. Oh. So she just hates all men as a whole now. Ah!
Messages me and spams me nonstop because he can't understand.
Okay.
Listen, it's completely fine to not like overly parasocial, stalker, creepy people in your fan base. Like, it's completely okay to not like that, but you shouldn't disavow a whole gender. Jesus Christ.
guys or just I'm gonna put
Yeah, men are mentally ill, and I think they should all die, honestly.
All of them got it. Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
All right, what a video, right? Yes, excuse the censorship, otherwise
Blaming the fans is going too far. No, it's not. Let me explain why. I think if you're a part of a corpo, you may not be allowed to ban these people or call them out in the open and be like, you're being creepy. I don't want you a part of my fan base. I don't care if you're paying me a lot. You gotta go. Now, I don't know if that's what happened, but I feel like that is a possibility, that if you're in corpo and you cannot ban or create your own line for people that are creepy, and the corpo does that for you, right? And like, as a result, you have people who are being creepy or coming to events that you can't just be like, I do not want this. Then that is a valid problem, by the way. That is a valid problem. That doesn't mean all men bad. Yes, there's probably a problem if you cannot have a line and you feel unsafe or very uncomfortable with your parasocial fans.
YouTube is going to take down this video too, but in a nutshell, near the end, you can see Twisty insulting both Bear and Drinos. From what I know, they're her top donators, and of course, are probably very parasocial. But again, the reaction that was exhibited from her here is way over the top, saying that all men should, you know, cease to exist.
This is what I mean, right? So you could have a very valid problem, like, you could have a very valid problem of people overstepping lines that they should never do, and a company that maybe doesn't advocate for you enough or allow you to draw lines with these creepy people, so you have to constantly be, you know, have them in your chats and be uncomfortable. And that really sucks. But it's but you lose all your credibility when you are basically concluding that of the entire male gender and they should all die. Like, okay, well, you almost had a point and then you did that. And now any type of real point you had is lost.
As you can imagine, this
you're
blew up the
crazy.
VTuber community. Yet another nijisanji VTuber was able to do that. And so on the same exact day this video came out, she put out a statement on her PL Twitter account saying,
Oh boy, oh yeah, and this was just like, yes, I did do this. When you act like this, you get rid of your point, even if there is like some validity to what you're saying. It's like, all right, well, you just went batshit. Like, that's not, nope, we can't do that, brother.
This is something I have been reflecting on long before today. I know not everyone will agree with my decision to post this, but I feel like my fans and the people hurt by my words deserve clarity and an apology. Link.
Also, I feel like people didn't really understand what she said. Not that it super matters, but when she said like, oh, this is, people don't give me money. The reason she's bringing that up is her community, I think, was saying like they don't want her to just collab. They're tired of her doing collab after collab after collab. But the reason she is pushed into doing more collabs, I think she is at least claiming from Niji, is because people aren't individually donating to her as much. So because she's not getting a lot of individual donos, the way to make more money is to collab, because I'm guessing they have audience overlap, and therefore that is the way she's able to keep higher monetization, because she's not getting individual donos as much. Therefore, she's unable to stream on her own as often because she doesn't make as much money.
An even bigger statement, saying a recording of me from almost a year ago was leaked, and I want to address that to the best of my ability today.
I heard that she does not apologize. Well, she kind of does, but like, she's like, yep, I did this. Because a lot of people thought it was fake until this, right? Well, if one gets a breaking point, the angrier over rules one may be. You could be angry over rules you have, but you can also manage to not be sexist, racist, advocate for people to... I mean, I feel like that's a pretty low bar.
What I said was hateful, cruel, and insanely inappropriate, racist, transphobic, and honestly just straight up mean. I don't want to try to make excuses, regardless of what I was angry about or dealing with. Those words...
By the way, just like the other guy, I believe you 100%, like, can hang out in VR chat without beating your meat. The bar is really low here.
were wrong, and I want to fully own up to it. That conversation came from a place of protectiveness and frustration over how someone close to me was being treated. But regardless, that doesn't excuse the language I used, and I'm sorry that my anger boiled over into something so ugly and so hurtful to many. To me, words were always just words. There was never any deeper meaning to anything. I felt that if you had the ability to speak, why not say whatever you want? I never really questioned the thoughts nor beliefs I grew up with until...
I feel like this is a very entitled take. What do you mean? What do you mean words don't mean anything and you just fly your mouth with without any consequences, man? I thought I could just say whatever I wanted and not have any repercussions for them.
Until very recently. I've luckily been able to meet some kind-hearted and wonderful people that pushed, supported, and urged me to become better and grow as a person. I started to realize how much power words carry. They are able to hurt people, inflict and reinforce harm, and even make people feel unsafe even if I didn't mean it that way. I feel that over the past
What other way did you mean it? What other way did you mean?
few months, I have come to understand that being careless doesn't mean my actions are not harmful. To me, growth is about unlearning things, listening, and actually thinking before I speak, and learning how to take responsibility for my actions. After gaining these new friends who were able to correct and educate me on all of the things I had done wrong, I realized that words are not just words and they can hold meanings that are able to affect the lives of others.
Bro, how under a rock do you have to be that you never realize that your words affect other people? Like, how privileged of a life do you gotta have? Where you just are like, yeah, I say words, but like, because I've never experienced like people being hateful towards me, I've never noticed that could happen.
I've had a lot of time to reflect on how I speak and how I treat people, and I fully intend to be better. As someone who lives in America, even just in 2025 alone, I have witnessed many injustices towards marginalized communities, things that I cannot unsee or ignore. Growing up, I was surrounded by certain attitudes and beliefs that I never questioned. I took them as normal even though they were rooted in ignorance and bias. When my mom found out that I didn't vote for the hateful and oppressive president she supported, she nearly disowned me. That moment really shook me because it made me realize how much my identity had been shaped by trying to meet other people's expectations or
That part is sad, man. That part is sad. You got parents that care about your politics and who you vote for to the degree that they will disown you like that. Yeah, I could like, yeah, your parents did not help you. Be open-minded, that's for sure.
avoid conflict. It was the first time I truly stood my ground on something I believed in, even when it cost me. That experience pushed me to start thinking for myself more critically, to ask why I believed what I believed, and to recognize how easy it is to stay complicit in harmful systems when you're just going along with what you've always been taught. Look,
Yeah, that becomes harder to learn if you have parents that are like very controlling and overseeing and like demand you think the way they do, for sure.
we're halfway through, but so far, this apology would have maybe worked like 10 years ago, but today, even ChatGPT can come up with something better. Anyway, second page. But I feel that this past year has been a turning point. With the help of my friends who have educated me and shared their experiences, I've started to really understand just how much harm those old ways of thinking can cause. I have made the choice to turn away from what I was raised on and to actively unlearn all of that harmful rhetoric. Maybe it's dumb to say because this conversation happened not that long ago. Yeah, this voice call was from December 2024, so
Yeah, I think the way she spoke was very came so naturally to her, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. This isn't something you can undo overnight. Like, maybe she really does want to change, right? But like, that's not. And I know it's been since December,
No.
okay? So I know it's not technically overnight, but I feel like this would take a lot of unlearning. Like, for anybody, it's like, even if they wanted to, this is going to take a while, because like, man, like those things, like they were coming pretty naturally to you. You were checking all of the boxes, man. Like, that's gonna take a while.
6 months ago. Anyway, she continues, but even in the small period since this incident occurred, I do think I have started to grow more as a person. I want to be absolutely 100% clear on this. Despite all of the awful things I said, I have never truly held those views, and to this day, I still do not. The words I used were ignorant and deeply hateful, but I do not believe they represent my actual beliefs or values. Racist, transphobic, violent, or otherwise any type of dehumanizing language has no place in the community I would like to create. Even in moments of frustration or anger or anything, saying those things was unacceptable, and I am deeply ashamed of myself. I know.
Yeah, I gotta just tell you guys, I don't know how you end up at this point. Like, full stop. It's really hard for me to like understand, because like I would never in my entire life just say things like this, like under any context of being mad. And I get that, you know, having parents and people around you who normalize this is part of why this happens, but it's whew, I just don't know how you get here. This is gonna take a while, in my opinion. I don't know how you get up from here. I don't know how you change that sort of thing.
A lot of people see me as based or want to put their views and feelings onto me, but that is not the type of person I am. I'm just a girl who wants to stream and have fun with her friends and fans, thinking about cute seals and cute girls. I have never and will never promote that type of behavior to my fans, and I regret setting a bad example for them. I also want to clarify a few things. I do not hate my fans. What I said was in a moment of burnout and bitterness aimed at the people who spam me for specific content while not respecting or giving me value as a person. I let that frustration turn into a generalization, and that's my responsibility. It doesn't make those words okay, and I'm deeply sorry to everyone I hurt by saying them.
Yeah, so more than anything, not just the fact that, you know, she's obviously being extremely hateful. She's lost all of her all the respect a lot of people had for her, right? It also is like if you have a real issue with the company that is a legitimate problem, it's delegitimized with how you spoke about it, right? Like now that gets overlooked, even if it is a legitimate problem that affects many people in that company.
Nothing but respect and admiration for artists. I never wanted to demean anyone's work. In the whole conversation that was emitted from the clip, I was talking about how much I wish I could have different model proportions, such as those this artist draws so beautifully. I really have a lot of love and respect for their work and have always been extremely vocal about this. I am unable to fully clarify the contents of my original statement there, but I want to reiterate that it had absolutely nothing to do with the beyond wonderful art. I know that there is no perfect way to apologize, and some people won't be able to forgive me, and that is 100% okay. I'm honestly just extremely sorry it happened at all. I know this has disappointed many, some will never forgive me, and again, I genuinely cannot blame them. I'm sorry that I ever said these things, and I will keep doing the work to make sure that I never say them again. Thank you to those who stood up to me, and to those who have called me out on it. I am paying attention and I'm learning. I'm trying to move forward as the person I want to be, not the person I was on that call. There are a lot of things I wish I could address, but I'm unable to. For what I have said, I tend to struggle with words, so I hope that I was able to convey my feelings properly to you. I'm going to be taking some time and stepping back to focus on myself and take this seriously. I genuinely never want to be that person again. To those groups I hurt, to my fans, and to anybody else affected, I truly apologize. Anyway, don't come up with your opinion just yet because there's way more to this story, but this was her initial apology. And
Now, I do think, by the way, there's probably not an apology that would make anyone happy in this situation. As far as apologies go, I don't think it was badly written.
say by now, the community was divided in two camps. The first camp were people who
But like, there's nothing, like, actions speak louder than words, so it would be a, like, we'll see basis, right? I don't think there's anything you could say, you know.
were absolutely outraged at her words. Like this person replying here saying, we all have bad days, but doesn't mean we should be throwing a tantrum
Yeah.
and saying racist and homophobic things while calling your fans broke, do better. The other
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, I cannot put myself in her shoes, man. I have some really troubled days, but I'm able to be none of these things. And I don't think I'm like a special, like, particularly fantastic human specimen. I feel like it's not hard to do, but
other camp was calling her based and wanted to follow her socials until she apologized, saying things like, welp, this sucks, thought we actually had a good one, but nah, she caved, sucks. In fact, many of the hidden replies that I'm not going to click on fully support her and encourage her to continue being herself and not cave in to Twitter. Now look, I'm not here to teach you morals.
yeah, there's always the mob that's like, ooh, base, someone being sexist and racist and mean to people. Like, I don't know, Twitter's cooked.
I hope your parents did that. But the fact of the matter is, a majority, or hell, at least a big chunk of nijisanji fans in general strongly identify with the LGBT community. Many of the
Yep.
ones that happen to watch female VTubers also happen to be men. And hell, I wouldn't be surprised if a
Yes.
sizable percentage of those men were Indian. This was Twisty
Yes.
giving the biggest, fattest, thickest middle finger to the entire demographic of Nijisanji, the corporation she represents. So when it came to her already existing community and fans, she had thrown them under the bus. And
Yep, I think she absolutely did this, and I also think like, how does Niji not notice any of these things they don't want in their company, right? Like, I think she's doing some horrible things, and I also am like, man, Niji really knows how to pick them, huh?
new
How does
demographic
this
was
happen?
welcoming her with open arms, but she refused
Woo!
that too. So essentially, she had burned all her bridges. But she wasn't done talking just yet. She actually didn't take any breaks and would continue streaming on her PL account. At some point in her chat, she said, "It's okay, I'm retiring soon. We don't need intros or outros. We will be ASMR only. Nothing
my
matters
God!
but ASMR."
Oh my
So people were
God!
thinking, oh wait,
Damn! Bro, she's like, I'm breaking up with Niji first. Niji's not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with Niji, but not yet, soon. Until then, I will only be playing the marimba.
is she actually officially leaving Nijisanji now? But before they could answer that question or finish theorizing, a second black background stream had hit the Niji towers. This is in reference to the first black background stream that was done during the Selen controversy that proved to be catastrophic for the company's reputation.
What does this mean? Black background stream. I don't know what that means.
This time though, it was Twisty on her PL account, live streaming for 30 minutes in a stream titled A Sincere Apology and My Truth, currently sitting at almost 100,000 views.
Why is there nothing there?
Now look, I know the video's long, don't worry, I wrote down the most important aspects of it. It wasn't an easy watch. She speaks
It's a stream of just a black screen and nothing else. Why? But why? Because is it supposed to be darker? Is it supposed to make you take it seriously?
in her lolly voice, and she's whispering to the microphone. This might as well be named to Indian hating girlfriend apology ASMR or something.
No! What? Why are we whispering? So it's whispering ASMR. Could you imagine if you did this in real life, chat? You go to apologize to your friend. You're like, all right, I'm coming over. I need to tell you my sincerest of apologies. I need to tell you in the flesh. And you come over and you turn off their lights. They're like, what are you doing? They're like, listen, the room has to be dark. You can't see me. You can't see anything. No, there cannot be any music in the background. All right, it needs to be dead. So turn off the TV. All right, now for the next 12 minutes and 50 seconds, you're just going to hear in the darkness and within the confines of your mind.
But
oh yeah, and I'm going to whisper.
deep in this apology, you will find a 1-minute clip of her confronting Astro Arcadia in a voice call, with him clearly replying to her with his voice. And of course, I'll make you listen to that. But before we get to that, what was the whole point of this video? Well, I'll tell you. But first, I want you to listen to this 5-second clip, because this is how she sounds like for the entirety of these 30 minutes.
Coming from someone who said all of that disgusting stuff. And,
What?
you know, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're not crazy. It actually does sound that low. Anyway, she starts off the video reiterating the fact that she is a changed person, guys. That she now realizes—
Speak up, woman, I can't hear you. Gonna have to put her on the double speakers.
the gravity of her mistakes, etc.
And then if you go to the next video, like if you have autoplay on, like, I'm so sorry. Like, rest in pieces, because it's going to be full blast, because you had to turn it up like 250 just to catch what you were saying.
Etc. And then she gets into the juicy stuff, detailing her experience with nijisanji. She says that nijisanji had presented itself as a dream opportunity, but ended up being a nightmare. Unclear communication, delays, toxicity, and unprofessionalism. For the first 8 months, she had no steady income whatsoever, because most of it was going towards the debt she had with nijisanji. And to illustrate the toxicity, she gives us an example. She thought she had a friend within the company, showed them her new outfit that she was going to announce to everyone, and then that supposed friend shared her outfit 10 minutes before the stream, in which she actually reveals the outfit for the first time, completely ruining the surprise. I mean, at this point, pick. You want to work in the North Korean government or nijisanji? It's practically the same thing. She then says on July 2024, she contacted nijisanji management to let them know about a VTuber who has a history of preying on new hires, especially women. She was told no action would be taken, and that apparently such incidents have been brought up before multiple times.
This sucks. Like, you got to feel sorry for that, because it doesn't matter who they are. This happens to anyone, by the way. I'm not somebody who's dehumanizing. You walk into an organization and this is the bar you set. Somebody's treating you horribly, and you go and you go and try to get help, and they say, oh yeah, he's somebody who does this and we're just supposed to tolerate it. Like, what the
involving that same VTuber. She wasn't the first one, and it seemed like she wasn't going to be the last at all.
Yeah. And that's why it sucks that she spoke this way, because she was mistreated. And she was far from the only one.
Management then made sure to specify never speak to anyone about this again. So her and a bunch of other coworkers who went through the same thing with Astro Arcadia got together and pleaded to management for them to take this seriously. Unfortunately though, it didn't do anything. Management was still doubling down and saying, nope, we can't do anything about this. Don't mention this again. She then talks about the false ID video. On November 2024, her supposed friend leaks many of her messages on 4chan, but nothing really happens to her until these videos start coming out. This is when nijisanji would instruct her to take a break from her work, and an internal investigation began. According to her, 80% of the conversations with investigators were her explaining VTuber culture, how VTubers worked, and what this was about. And
yeah, so you've got regular legal lawyers they've hired lawyers that don't understand the online spaces that you're in. So now you have to start all the way back at explaining what a VTuber is and what it looks like. You can tell that's gonna go well. Thank you so much.
Only 20% were her explaining her relationship with Aster and how he was harassing her and other women. When the call was done, the investigation team said they would follow up afterwards, and they never did.
There has to be more than one legal team that exists that has worked with VTubers before, or online creators in general.
Day, Twisty is convinced no real investigation ever took place inside nijisanji. She's
not wrong. I bet you they dropped it too. Like, this is a legitimate problem. The fact that it's going to be overlooked sucks, because there are countless victims of this behavior.
Revealed something for the first time that we'd never heard of prior, which is the fact that nijisanji at some point wanted to settle with her. They wanted to pay her an amount of money to shut her up, but she refused. If true, this is them pretty much admitting their guilt. Then she
Yep.
starts talking about Aster. She said he was very friendly initially and they played games. He kept pushing her to play with him, and even though she didn't want to, she agreed because she wanted to have a good relationship with all of her coworkers. That's according to
Oh
her.
my
But then
god. Imagine being like, I gotta play nice with the guy that openly harassed me. Openly harassed me over and over again and jorked it to me. I gotta play nice to like with him in a corpo space. This is what professionalism looks like. Jesus.
over time, his behavior towards her started to shift. He started calling her way more often, making flirty comments about her appearance and her voice. He would even start asking her to
Oh, this was before it. Sorry, this was before that happened, right? Okay, my bad.
want to. She agreed because she wanted to have a good relationship with all of her coworkers. That's
Then why didn't she want to collab with him then? Sorry. Then what was her reasoning for not wanting to?
Aster. She said he was very friendly initially and they played games. He kept pushing her to play with him, and even though she didn't want to, she agreed because she wanted to have a good relationship with all of her coworkers.
So was she just like uncomfortable with how forward he was with her? Like, was it just too much? Like, I'm just curious why. Like, was she just getting a bad hunch or something?
That's according to her. But then over time, his behavior towards her started to shift. He started calling her way more often, making flirty comments about her appearance and her voice. He would even start asking her to say sentences or specific phrases in her voice because he thought it was cute. He'd even
Oh god. Ugh.
bring up the topic of her ASMR videos in a way that made her uncomfortable. And then according to her, his attitude would shift even further. He would start to put her down, calling her mentally disabled or saying that she had Tourette's, repeatedly saying that she's not
Jesus.
normal, and would even claim at some point that others at work, her coworkers, the other VTubers at Nijisanji, were uncomfortable around her. She said
Damn, bro, the manipulation is insane. Like, he's bullying her, by the way. He's trying to get her to value herself less, so she feels that she is in a vulnerable position, that she has to be nice to him. Because him just asking her to do things isn't working, so now he's trying to push her down and also make her feel like he's telling her things and other people don't trust her, so she can only, like, talk to him. Like, he is purposefully trying to isolate her, by the way.
says that later on, she found out from one of those coworkers that Aster was talking about that this was untrue and that this was only a part of his manipulation tactics. Aster would keep escalating this behavior and then would suggest that he and Twisty should meet up in Japan. She explained to him that she's very anxious socially and wouldn't be comfortable. He kept pushing and he didn't believe her, adding things like, hey, what if we were in Japan, but together? She would keep saying no repeatedly. He would keep asking,
Bro, yeah, this is f***ed up. This is so f***ed up.
this time in a flirty way, and would say things like, what if we held hands? To which he said no. What if we hugged? To which he said no. And would even go as far as saying,
What if I told you I never want any of these things to happen? She literally said no. No.
what if we stayed in your hotel room together? To which again, she said no. So zero respect of boundaries. Now here's where things get very weird. According to her, at some point, Nijisanji management told her that they needed her for an event in Japan, saying that they didn't have enough talent. They simply didn't have enough people showing up. She considered going, but was financially unable since they weren't going to pay
Yeah.
for her ticket. Amazing
Ooh.
company, I know. But now, as she looks back towards
She's also a fairly new talent, right? So I believe that. I believe that even if she wanted to go, she probably didn't have enough funds. She was only there for like 6 months when this started, right? Like she's not a very long-standing talent yet.
this, she thinks that there was an ulterior motive because it turns out that they did indeed have enough people for the event. So they lied to her. So I guess this is her implying that maybe Aster had a hand in this, wanting her to come to Japan so that
Oh man, that so there is evidence of the company lying to her. Oh my god, I barely hit the delete button, I swear to god.
now, as she looks back towards this, she thinks that there was an ulterior motive because it turns out that they did indeed have enough people for the event. So they lied to her. So I guess this is her implying that maybe Aster had a hand in this, wanting her to come to Japan so that he can, meet up with her against her
Yeah, I would be several levels of paranoid.
will. She then says that he did this exact same thing with others. This would be his methodology. Targeting new hires, new VTubers that just joined that would fangirl over him, be exceedingly friendly with them, isolate them, and then propose to them, hey, want to fly out to Japan? Want to meet up? Knowing very well that they're probably broke and can't afford to go to Japan but really want to. In the
Damn, that is such predatory behavior. This is not his first, second, or probably third, fourth, or fifth rodeo. You know, like he does the same tactic to everyone, and there's like nothing that stops him. So now he's exceedingly comfortable doing it. That's so scary.
The initial leaked messages and in False ID's video to Twisty, Astra truly crossed the line when he got in a call with a non-VTuber friend of hers that was a very big fan of nijisanji and a big fan of Aster, and tried to pull the same thing on her, saying, hey, you should come to Japan, let's meet up. This is when Twisty would get in a call with Aster and would
Wait, so he used a third person that was a fan of his in order to make it more likely she would agree, because a girl in the call with him basically is advocating for him. So it's like a 2v1 scenario where she's getting pressured into it.
confront him about his behavior, specifically about telling a lot of girls, hey, I'll fly you to Japan. This happens in her apology video at the
Yeah, a friend of hers that's a fan of his. Holy sh**, that's manipulative.
24-minute, 13-second mark. Watch.
Yeah, the fact that it's an IRL friend of Twisty that you're using as a way to get your way, to get her to come to Japan to see you. Holy crap, dude.
I feel like it's kind of weird when you offer to fly girls out. Just in general. I'm getting a call.
In general.
Might be famous. I don't know, but don't you think
But it was like a half
that's-
joke.
I mean, you can't
No, it wasn't. It's a joke if you say no and call out that it's creepy, and it's the truth if you went along with it.
really half joke saying,
Sorry.
I'm gonna fly you to Japan.
Don't you lie.
Come stay at my hotel. That's not really a joke. Like, I feel like there are some things you should and should not say.
No, she's 100% right here. She's 100% right. She's being very diplomatic, but she's drawing the line and saying, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. There's certain things you should and should not say. This is a red flag. And I said no.
To someone who is like, because like she is a really big fan of nijisanji. You're on your library account. I feel like it's very awkward for her when you're saying like, even if it's a joke, which I don't think it is. I don't think like you say
No, it's not.
my joke's like unhinged or whatever, but you don't just say, I'm gonna fly you out and you can stay in my hotel room.
So this is it. There you have it. This is a clip in which Astra
Who has this worked with, chat? That's what scares me. There's a higher than 0% chance that some girl got flown out there to see him.
Arcadia is with Twisty in the same voice channel, and as she's confronting him about this, he's saying it's kind of a half joke, acknowledging that this actually did indeed happen. And I mean, yeah, of course, anything can be a half joke until the other person says yes, then it becomes
Yeah, and the fact that you make the same joke with every single new girl and it's the same thing every time.
reality. But it's definitely
This would be so easy to figure out if it was a joke, by the way. Has he ever met up with any of the other livers and stayed at a hotel with them? Has he ever followed through with this? I feel like this guy would be very easy to find out if it was a joke.
a very weird thing to say when someone is clearly a fan of your company. You're using your Astra Arcadia Discord account and you tell them, hey, want to come to Japan and stay in the same hotel room as me? That's not a joke, because someone like her is almost
Yeah, what's the punchline?
guaranteed to say yes. I mean, she's a fan.
Bro, I hate people like this. Oh, it was just a joke. No, it wasn't. Like that Man, good thing you can get out of anything you say by saying it's a joke and have no repercussions for your actions.
That's just so weird. And this is the person being protected by Nijisanji at all costs right now. She says the reason why she only included 60 seconds of this voice call is because the name of her friend as well as names of other people are mentioned, and she doesn't want to compromise them. She says that she went public with this because management would never acknowledge her. And that was pretty much an apology of 32 minutes in Lolly ASMR summed up. You're welcome. But it's not over
Dang.
yet, because she included a pinned comment saying, 1. I have full receipts, I have Discord logs, I have messages to staff members and legal. I will not be sharing these. The full call will not be shared because it mentions who else was involved, and I'm not okay with bringing somebody into things who is not comfortable speaking up. I cut the clip as it is
Yep.
to avoid any possible way of involving them because they are directly mentioned a few seconds after. 2.
Man, that sucks. Yeah, because you've got other people who are victims who are now terrified to say anything because the times they have tried, they've never seen it work.
Quite frankly, I don't care if what I say upsets people. If I didn't regret my words, I just wouldn't apologize for them. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about things and just automatically assume that apologizing is lost on a lot of people. And honestly, I agree. Forgiveness can be lost on people. No one should even be expected to forgive someone for anything in the first place. If you're apologizing to please people, is there any point? I think that I went too far and could have expressed myself in different ways, and that is all there is to it. But honestly, it has nothing to do with forgiveness from the types of people who will vilify and harass me, all while defending a genuine predator. This has always been a guilty until proven situation, and it will probably stay that way forever. I truly truly hope it does because I do not want such people to ever interact with me or my content. 3. Don't begin to assume you know anything about my job, contract, or terms when you have absolutely no idea outside of, oh well, this person said this. Like I said in the video, everyone has very different experiences, and lots of people have very different circumstances too. I am telling you mine. 4.
Yeah, I do think it's fair that you probably, like, to say, regardless of what your criticism is, you probably don't know the full of it. Like, the full contract they are under, the things that they're allowed to say versus not, the things that haven't been said that have already occurred, right? There is going to be certain things that you do not know.
I wanted to leave last August. I wanted to leave again 4 months ago. 5. I don't hate all men. I think they're all mentally ill, but so are all women, and so am I, so...
What? No, you said it as an insult, not affectionate. You, like, there's a way where you joke with your audience and you're like, bro, you're watching me, so you're mentally ill, right? Like, there's an affectionate way to say, like, we all mentally ill here. That was not the way you meant it.
Great, slowly but surely destroying her initial apology. 6. I have no issues with Brave Group as a whole. I will not mention the VTuber in question, but I still stand by my words here. Yes, I was jealous and petty and it was definitely in bad taste, but I'm not going to apologize for disliking someone in private or being upset for my own personal reasons, nor for thinking that hiring people who are open about politics is bad optics. At this point, she's already terminated.
But you... So the fact that you're quiet about politics and quiet about it, the fact that you're quiet about racism, that's fine. It's just if you have pronouns in your bio that it's concerning.
It would be an apology
I don't know, man. Rules for thee and not for me, brother.
to the wind. Again, just slowly but surely completely undoing the initial apology, like straight up.
Like, you basically said if they why did they hire somebody like me? Like, if you think that like VTuber companies shouldn't hire people because of bad optics, because of politics, then they definitely shouldn't have hired you.
7. She quotes some people saying you're deflecting blame and says 2 people can make mistakes at the same time. I want to start fresh and move on with my life. I'd like to take some time away, and that is not something I felt like I could do. I think that these things were very important to address together because of all the comments I've seen going, well, she said this, so they're totally innocent, which is just not how things work. So yeah, because of that voice call of her leaking where she was racist and all those things, some Astro Arcadia fans were saying, well, hey, if she's a terrible person, that means all the things she said about him were fake. That's not how it works. She then continues.
That is a valid point, by the way. Just because she did some horrible things doesn't mean Aster is suddenly forgivable. You don't have to pick one, Chad, I promise. You can say both of them should not work at the company, you know?
I feel like my statement on Twitter covered the majority of my feelings about the situation, and while I considered speaking more on what had happened, I think it is ultimately not relevant. I cannot go back and change the past. The most I can do is say sorry and be better for myself and my fans. And
wait, was Red in the recording? Was that Aster? No? Okay.
Then she says a sentence. I have no idea, like, why this is necessary to specify. When I first read this, I had to do a double take. Number 9. I will never apologize for being a lolicon.
Everything was so serious, and then she's like, by the way,
I will continue to do incestuous lolly.
I wasn't expecting that one. Bro, somehow incest got in here.
Roleplay.
Bro, yeah, she's unironically sister leveling dub, brother.
Bro, no comment, man. Just no comment. Let's move on. Aside from all that, I truly
like how that was the 9th one. Like, God, woo.
I believe that if you continue to support and defend my job and the individual mentioned, you are no better than me. You can deflect and call me a liar all you want while downplaying the severity of the situation, but at the end of the day, I know what I and others have experienced. You are the reason that they continue to treat their employees poorly, the reason they allow truly vile people to do truly vile things with no repercussions and will continue to do so. Believe all women until it's one I don't like, right? I truly hope that you will never have to go through the same thing. So yeah, this is definitely a loaded pinned comment, especially.
Like, what the hell? That was a wild turn. Everything was very serious, and then suddenly you turned like,
that
woo.
9th statement that came out of nowhere to
Yeah, what the hell?
sucker punched me in the face. But
Yeah,
this was
what the-
actually kind of a successful attempt at sweeping her leaked voice call under the rug. Now
Yep.
people were mostly focused on Nijisanji and Astro Arcadia yet again. And for good reason. Astro Arcadia is an even bigger problem than we first thought. His behavior is not just being protected by Nijisanji, it's being encouraged at this point. You have multiple people coming to
No, yeah, he should be gone.
together to complain about his behavior internally, and Nijisanji is refusing to do anything about it, even lying to everyone saying that they're conducting an internal investigation. And I mean, it's been over 6 months. We still haven't heard anything about that investigation in any way, shape, or form. But investigation aside, this was noteworthy enough to warrant some sort of a statement from Nijisanji themselves. What we initially got though wasn't—
Bro, you're gonna need a leaked audio of him plapping in VR chat just to make sure he's for real a creep. Somebody's got to record him being so f***ass that the company has to say something.
an official statement. It was an unofficial one that made Nijisanji's stance very clear, deleting every single piece of content from Twisty Amanozako's YouTube channel and privating her Twitter account. These things are usually done when a VTuber at Nijisanji leaves for whatever reason. But when they do leave, whether they get kicked out or graduate, Nijisanji usually makes a statement. This time, there was no such statement. She pretty much got stealth kicked. We can confirm this now because she was even removed from Nijisanji's official website. But guess what?
Yeah.
Astro Arcadia is still right here, and he's not going anywhere. Then
I feel like unironically the only way he might go somewhere is literally if he got caught with his pants down, which is so crazy.
out of the blue, on June 21st, 2025, Nijisanji finally decided to make an official statement on the situation, saying, announcement regarding Twisty Amanozako's contract termination. Nijisanji EN has terminated his contract with Twisty Amanozako due to confirmed instances of discriminatory speech, which is in direct violation of our contract terms and is not tolerated in our community. We appreciate your continued support as we grow together, and we remain committed to fostering a community built on mutual respect, creativity, and accountability.
That is such sport. That is
Ability. Thank you for your understanding. Dude, that's so funny coming
Damn,
from
I
them,
didn't know
swear.
the
But there you
account
have
was a
it. We got an
comedian.
official statement. It was made on Saturday, though,
Hilarious.
and some people believe this was the case so that it doesn't affect stock price since the stock market is closed on weekends.
Is that why Twitch takes off weekends as well?
Some people, of course, pointed out, hey, this is great, but what about the investigation that's been going on for 6 months? Of course, zero.
That's great. So cool. Now, can you get rid of the actual, like, sex pest that's been, you know, claiming victims for, like, the past, I don't know, 6 months or longer that you guys won't look into? Do you have time for that yet?
Mention of that. But hey, I guess all these things are truly negligible because over the last year, any color stock has doubled. I wish I was kidding. I don't know what the hell's going on in the Japanese stock market, but it's almost doubled. But while the CEO is indeed richer from this, his aspirations of becoming an international company are pretty much flushed down the toilet. I mean, it's really funny to me. They were hoping that the heat from False ID's video about Astor would die down by the time they reach his 3rd anniversary. But due to what happened with Twisty, it just got freshly reignited, and I don't think he's going live again anytime soon. But hey, Twisty...
Bro, come on. You would think that even in their twisted logic, their inside-out logic, that they would end up being mad at Astor for releasing it because that just further ignited flames that they had to deal with, right? They didn't want to deal with anything. Now they got to deal with her, which gets rid of some revenue, which might be way less than him, but now that reignites the flame that was under his ass. You would think that he'd at least get in trouble for that because it would make them have to be accountable in some capacity, right? In their twisted logic, but still... apparently, he doesn't get in trouble for it, which is crazy.
Seems to be doing pretty well, at least. She went live as recently as June 18th and continues to go live almost every single day. It seems that she's finally been released from the clutches of Nijisanji and can go back to streaming on her past life account without any legal repercussions. I wish her the best in her lolly incestuous roleplay adventures. Anyway, thank you so much for watching until the end.
That was
This is such a
wild.
train wreck. It's ridiculous. And I'll see you in the next video. Whenever that is. I love you so much.
That's
and thank
crazy.
You again for 500,000
That's crazy.
subscribers. Mwah.
I will never think of the number 9 the same ever again, man. It's ruined for me. If I ever make a tier list, number 9 will always be so fuck-ass that the rest of the tier list is questioned. Like, Jesus. Anyways, go ahead and give Muji a follow. That was a great video.